Yo, what is good, guys? It is Tuesday, March 3rd, and this is exactly how I made $2,700 this morning trading NQ, trading the NASDAQ. I caught this perfect short right here. I wouldn't really say it was actually perfect. This wasn't the most AAA plus setup, but I had very good conviction on the day. As you can see, price was pretty choppy within here, but I had good conviction on the day. So I trust my conviction and I trust my trading plan to be able to execute this. And as you can see, ended up playing out. We caught a 2.33 risk to reward. So let's break down exactly how I took this trade and what I looked for. So coming into market open, kind of the first thing I saw just on the higher time frame, this is the 4-hour time frame, you can see we don't really kind of have a clear trend. We're kind of really chopped. We are fading a little bit towards the downside. We're kind of holding a little bit of a downtrend. So I'm leaning a little bit more kind of bearish on the day. And also just with all this war news, I think it could be a little bit bearish. But the main thing I see is this ginormous 4-hour SMT. This is a bullish SMT down here at these lows. And this is making me look at it and say, okay, well, we could really reject to the upside with this bullish SMT. So I really scaled down to the 1-hour time frame, and you can see that we did what? We put in this SMT and we made a move up and filled this 1-hour fair value gap. And what happened once we filled this 1-hour fair value gap? We showed straight rejection back down to the downside. So it's showing me that, yeah, we have this SMT, but this SMT isn't really playing that much because it's just rejecting back out of this 1-hour gap. If that SMT really wanted to push us all the way to the upside, we would have blew through this 1-hour gap and this 1-hour gap on ES, and we would have shown what? We would have shown that we wanted to inverse it and continue to the upside. At market open, what am I looking for? We have this little kind of high we have that was from London session, and we have complete London low resting down here on both NQ and ES. So I'm kind of leaning bearish. So I want to see, obviously, these London lows get targeted and see possibly an SMT get wiped from the SMT that we have. So what do I see? Coming into market open, the candle that closes, 15-minute candle that closes at open, you can see that NQ ended up inversing this 15-minute gap to the upside, which it should, because with this bullish SMT down here, it's leading to the upside. So it's the leading index, so it should be pushing up higher. And you can see what? You can see that ES did not inverse this 15-minute gap, and it's holding it. So this 15-minute gap was a big tell today for me and for looking for what I was seeing in the trade I took on ES. Because if we play out the next 15-minute candle, what can we see? I was watching this ES 15-minute candle because what did we do? We pushed up, filled this 1-hour fair value gap, and swept this London high we had right here. It's not full London high, but it's a high we had from London session on NQ, and did what? It put in an SMT divergence, right? So we put in a new bearish SMT divergence, and what does that make ES? That makes ES the leading index to the downside. And now I was sitting here watching and waiting. So this was at least until 7:45. Market opens at 7:30 where I live. So look at the close of this candle. This is respecting the fuck out of this bearish 15-minute gap, and it's respecting this bearish SMT. So this 15-minute gap right here on ES was a ginormous tell and a ginormous add-on to my conviction that we for sure wanted to hit at least these London lows and take these London lows today. So actually, what trade did I take today? I actually ended up taking 2 trades today. I was break even on the first one, and then I took my dub on the second one. And this was that first trade I took. This is right out of open. Right out of open, we pushed up, took this high that I had marked out, that London high, and put in that SMT, started pushing down, and I saw this 1-minute inverse fair value gap, and this was just too obvious, too volatile for me not to take it. I had to execute this no matter what. So I ended up, it's just part of my rules, part of my system. So I entered short here with just my stops at the top of this candle, and then I was targeting down to these lows, and obviously down to that London low that we had marked out. And the thing with this is because it was right out of open and we've been choppy, I had a very tight break even that was this pretty much kind of New York open low right here that we put in. So this was my break even point. And as you can see, literally on the next candle, we wicked it and got stopped out. But I'm fine with that because as you can see, we would have got absolutely fried. So this is exactly why I had my break even at this point, because it's either bang, we absolutely just dump and push through this, or we reject right off that point. So that aside, that's how I went break even on my first trade. And then how do I stay patient? How do I wait and find this second winning trade? You can see we're continuing to push up, continuing to push up. What do? We're getting a remanipulation now of these highs. There's still that bearish SMT, right? ES has not taken out those highs. We're just getting a manipulation. Bam. There's another 1 minute inverse gap. I was thinking of taking this, but what do we have right below it? There's another 1 minute gap even right below it. So that's not an A+ setup. That is not what I'm taking. I know we want to push to the downside, but I just want to see confirmation that we actually do want to go down. And as you can see, what did we just get right there? We got bang. Both 1 minute gaps got inversed to the downside. And I didn't want to take that just yet because I just wanted, that wasn't the best risk to reward that I wanted. And also, you wait 2 minutes more, what can you see? You can see that this 2 minute fair value gap over here gets inverse to the downside. So I'm getting all these tells that we're starting to break down. But I'm not entering within this point here. Like stops up here, this is like 130 point stops. All these giant, it's not a good risk reward, it's not good targets. And we're literally entering right where we've pretty much been bouncing and rejecting this whole entire time. So what does this tell me? We've bounced once, bounced twice, bounced 3 times. What can I expect this 4th time? I'm expecting a bounce off this level. So I've already got the telltale that we inversed 2 1 minute gaps right here. We inversed a 2 minute gap over there. We got a remanipulation and we're still holding an SMT, right? So this is looking good for me. So what is my entry and what did I look for? The simple entry I looked for is I know we're about to push down, right? I know we are about to push down, and I know that we can only reject off this level right here so many freaking times. So many times to where we started showing volume, we started showing inverses. We have one last bounce, and then we need to break this level. We need to break them. So my entry was strictly an entry off of equilibrium of this downrange, the downrange that inversed all these gaps. So I set my limit order resting right at the 50% mark. So we are right at equilibrium. Here, I'll show you guys a cleaner tool of that. Bang. Right there. Equilibrium, the 50% mark of this downside range that inversed all those gaps. Where was my stops? Stops was at the top of the bodies. And I was targeting just down to this low right here. I didn't want to get too greedy. Yes, my main target on the day was this London low all the way down here, but this low was the perfect target for me as I'm getting a 2.29 risk reward. It's absolutely perfect for me. I don't need anything else. So if we play this out, what can we see? Bang, we get tagged into this trade. And once again, we are a little choppy. I have conviction. Where is my break-even point? One, you can see also ES, there's another SMT, especially on the 30-second. My 30-second isn't going, or it's not loading, but you can see there's this little 1 minute high, and it was a 30-second high too, from right there to right there on ES. So we had another bearish SMT within here that is confirming my bias even more. I'm feeling good about this, so I want to see this absolutely flush straight down. And what's the only thing in our way? The only thing in our way is this 1 minute fair value gap. So just once again, to be cautious on this, and with us being kind of in a little bit of chop, this right here is my break-even point. I know it is a little bit tight, but it just makes sense. And then this low right here was my first take profit. So as you can see, play this out. Next candle, bang, we're instantly break even. It's starting to flush. We get an inverse fair value gap. Push down, absolutely printing down, bang. That is my first TP. I took off almost all of my position there, almost all. Did not want to get greedy and hold, as this was for sure these lows, and these lows within here were for sure going to get ran. Who knows if we came down to here, but at this point, I am break even, and I was actually trailing a little bit to around this point within here. And at that point, I took most of the position off, and it was pretty much just let it run and play out. And then we ended up smacking up that final take profit here a little bit later. But the main chunk of the actual trade was taken off right here, which this trade really only took about 2-3 minutes right there to where we caught the most of our profit today, and then left a few runners down to this low over here. So this is a beautiful, perfect trade I took today. This was a little bit choppy, and it was mainly based on conviction, but yes, it was choppy, stuck to my conviction, stuck to my rules. And what did I do to compensate for the fact that it was choppy? I had very, very good risk management. On that first trade, I knew that I should go break even at those lows. I didn't get greedy. I went break even at those lows because we are in a choppy market. Same exact thing with this trade. I went break even at this 1 minute gap because we could easily reject off that and I could get absolutely cooked. So I'm absolutely cracking down on my risk management when I am doing all of these trades and when we are in these market conditions. So yes, this isn't the most 100% perfect like textbook setup because it's not the most perfect price action, but this is exactly how I dissected today. And realistically, if you do want to see kind of how I dissect the charts every single day, you can check out, I will leave in the link in the description below, my second YouTube channel where I do full breakdowns of charts and of confluences, of strategies, of systems, on and on and on. It is a full breakdown, full in-depth YouTube channel. You can check that out if you want to, but I will continue to drop trade recaps day in and day out on this YouTube channel. So this was today how I made $2,700 trading. Beautiful short, beautiful trade, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out and trade safe.